Now, I mentioned that we were going to go into safety and soundness land here. And I know that Dave talked about this when he talked about insurable value at the end of session 1. It's going to rear its head here again with respect to condominiums. Okay, it's really the same scenario, but I'm going to give you a different way to look at it, or different calculation. Same way, it's the same thing, just another way to go through it here. So coinsurance penalties, top of page 49. So the general rule is to receive full face value of a policy, you have to be insured to 80% of replacement cost. Okay, if the borrower doesn't have 80% to replacement cost, they're not going to get full face value in the event of a loss, okay, at the time of the loss. They're going to get something less than that. Okay, that's where the coinsurance penalty, that difference between the face value that they think they have and what they actually get, that difference is the coinsurance penalty. So in order to be fully insured, they have to be insured to 80% of replacement cost value. So let's take a look at an example here. The replacement cost value of the structure. This could be an individual unit in a condo. Let's just go with that. So the individual condo unit is worth $250,000. Well, what's 80% of $250,000? Well, we've done the math for you. 80% of $250,000 is a $200,000 policy. So let's say that that's what the applicant purchases, is a $200,000 policy. Let's also say that that is the lesser of calculation. Well, if that's what they did, they would get full face value of the policy in the event of a loss. But that's not what we're going to do here. Okay, $200,000 would have given them full face value of the policy. Instead, let's say that the outstanding principal balance of the loan was only $180,000, so that's all we require. So that's all they bought. So the applicant goes out and they buy $180,000 of coverage to meet the lesser of calculation in connection with the unit they're providing as collateral in connection with this condo loan. So they buy $180,000. Well, let's do the math. They should have had 80% in place in order to avoid the coinsurance penalty. They only purchased 72% because that's what they needed for compliance. So for compliance, you're going to be able to check the box and you're golden. However, the borrower doesn't really have $180,000 worth of coverage, and I'll show you why here as we go through this. Let's imagine that they have a $150,000 loss. Well, here's what the insurance agent's going to do. They're going to calculate it this way. Okay, we also got the deductible there. So they had $180,000 worth of coverage in place. In order to get full face value of the policy, they would have had $200,000 in place. So we're going to divide what they have by what they should have had to get full value, 100% coverage. So 180 divided by 200,000, they have 90% of what they should have had to get full coverage. What's that mean? They're only getting 90% covered on the loss. So we go to their loss, 150,000. They don't get 150,000. Okay, we're going to get 90% of that. So we take 90% times 150,000 because when they bought their policy at 170,000, I'm sorry, at 180,000. If they because they didn't buy it at 80%, 200,000, they have 90% coverage relative to the face value of their policy. So that loss is not $150 in their back pocket. It's only going to be $135,000. That difference between what they think they have from a full coverage standpoint in the event of a loss and what they actually get, that's called a coinsurance penalty. That's not the only thing that's going to fall out of their back pocket. In addition to the coinsurance penalty, they're also going to have to come up with the deductible. So the $150,000 loss, the check that they're going to get from the insurance agent is only $133,000. That $17,000 includes a $15,000 coinsurance penalty plus a $2,000 deductible. Here's why it's important for you all to know this. That's not a compliance thing. They're compliant if $180,000 is what they needed to meet the lesser of calculation. But there's a safety and soundness thing here that says, oh my gosh, in this event of $150,000 loss, if they can't come up with $17,000, you're going to be stuck. They're going to be stuck. And that becomes the safety and soundness elephant in the room.